One last cry. I knew him, but we were like strangers. Alike in so many ways. It was like looking at myself in the mirror, reminded of my younger days. I knew him, but I didn't know him, even though he could have been my twin. So I talked to him, and I spent time with him, determined to become his friend. I sat with him, and I listened to him express the pain in his heart. Trying to get to know him again was by far the most painful part. He cried without shedding a tear. His pain was like my own. I knew him, but I didn't know him. The stranger to me was unknown. For days and weeks, I let him talk. For months, I just sat and listened, because this stranger to me was important to me. He was a part of my life I had been missing. I catered to him, and I cared for him. I did everything for him I could, because this man-child wasn't a bad child. He was just misunderstood. I cooked for him, and I washed his clothes. I even braided his hair. And whenever he needed words of encouragement, I was always there. Being with him created feelings in me. It brought me so much pain. I had needed to see him, but not in here. I never wanted for him the same. But I took advantage of the situation because I knew it might be my last. So I answered his questions, and I gave him advice, trying to heal the wounds from his past. Like a flower, our relationship started to bloom. It was a beautiful sight to see. Sure, it still hurt having him here, but he was spending his time with me. Of course, we know nothing lasts forever. All things must come to an end. And just like he came, they took him away, but not before he became my friend. Even now that he's no longer here, the words he spoke still linger. He has shared with me what his life was like, blaming me without pointing the finger. He entrusted me with his darkest secrets, confided in me things he had done. You see, this stranger to me wasn't really a stranger. He was my oldest son. He wrote me a letter before he left, telling me he enjoyed having me around. The letter was so deep that halfway through it, I was forced to put it down. I had never heard my son speak like that. That side of him I had never known. It touched my heart, and it sent chills down my spine to know that my son had grown. He told me that being in this situation made him realize that there will always come a time for one to right his wrong. But in order for you to seize the moment, you have to be mentally strong. He said being with me made him feel so complete, and at the same time all alone, because a part of him will still be here, even when he goes home. He said to be able to ease someone else's pain is a feeling that can't be erased. Then he forgave me and told me he loved me, leaving tears rolling down my face. Even though I was overcome with so much pain from him being here, it was a pain that I welcomed, that I embraced. Because the time that I spent with my son here in Sing Sing Correctional Facility was some of the best days of my life. It was a redefining moment for me. It made me reevaluate the value of family. And when he left, I came to realize just how important family really are. Thank you.